one. This moves forward, so we have a land-based animal. And now we're going to go to a combination of a man with a bird, crowned by a bird, the face of a man crowned by a bird. So we see the bird, the beak of the bird becomes the nose, the outstretched wings, the eyes here. It's crowned by this bird, the eyes, the man, the nose, the mouth. How did I manifest this form from the original photograph? This is Om Mantra, Om Mantra. This is the visual waveform of Om Mantra realized photographically. Breath condensation constrained, water constrained into an intelligent design. Realized when I mirror the two halves, we can see close up again, Garuda, the mount of Vishnu is a bird. An eagle is Garuda Airlines, the flag of Thailand, the double-headed eagle of South Asia is Garuda. So Varaha, Garuda, Kurma, Avatar. This is one of the more sophisticated images here, and it has deep symbolism and iconography, and I'm going to break that out for you. This is Bhavanam Kevalam mantra. Love is everything, Bhavanam Kevalam. I'm leading a men's meditation in an art gallery, and this photograph is taken with the owner's camera. And so the interpretation is that there's the face here of a lion or tiger, that it's wearing a crown. And we'll look closely at the significance of that form in the Hindu tradition. The avatar of Vishnu, the man lion, is Narahari. And so we see some statues there, Narahari, Vishnu avatar from India, captured photographically. Then above is the bird with the outstretched wings. We see the bird's beak, two eyes, the nose, the wings on both sides. This is the first component of the tiger's crown, the bird with outstretched wings. And that is Garuda. We see the same statuary, the same display from Thailand, India, Indonesia, the same representational form. And then the rider seated on the bird is the classic representation of Vishnu riding Garuda. We can see that the rider is the seated form, the two arms, the head. So we'll go deeper into the icons that are there. But classical representative form, the iconic archetype embedded in the image. The flower is there, which it resembles the red lotus, and again more Vishnu iconography. And finally, the hooded serpent wearing a crown is the Anantashesha, the serpent that protects Vishnu. And we can see the crown form here. It's a triune crown. Remember the three crowns from my earlier image series, the three-pointed crown, the three gunas of yoga, the crowned serpent of Vishnu is the Anantashesha. You know, iconically, I mean, are we on the same page here? I really think we are. Finally, Vishnu's icons are clearly displayed. The crown is there. The earrings, which is interesting for someone who listens to both sides of the story. It's a Vaishnava connection there. And finally, the garland of 7 discs. And so we see them here. The Vishnu garland. This is all classical Vaishnava iconography. 7 discs. And so who is the controller of the discs? And what is the significance of the discs? You know, not only in the UFO world, but in our inner world, in the science of inner discovery, the 7 chakras of Tantra, Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, again, Sahasrara chakras are all referenced in that image. Just like the 7-layered form, the 7 layers of consciousness referenced earlier in that golden orb, the 7-layer transmission, the voice transmission. I mean, it's not called Bhagavad Gita for nothing. It means the song of the Lord. It means that sound is sustaining and creating life and reality, our own reality, and even the fundamental constructs that are within us. The architecture of our bodies is sustained by cosmic sound. This is the language of the images. This is the original photo. The gallery owner and his assistant. We're leading meditation. We're meditating on Bhavanam Kevalam. This white orb appears above the horse. The participant says, I was seeing a white orb in my mind's eye when the photograph was taken. But there's more to this picture. Let's find out, how did I derive that image we were just looking at? Again, I take the original file, I created a new file, twice the horizontal width. I paste 2 copies of the original, carefully aligning them into that form. And then simply mirroring one of them reveals the inherent form with a little contrast and saturation. We see this representation, this classical representation. So final word about this image we should know is it was taken 1 week before the Indonesian tsunami in 2006. Was this a precursor to that event? Was this form, which has classical Indonesian, you know, representative icons, was this telling us something? Not only does the speech signals that are mirrored tell us something about future events? Do these mirrored photographic images that are the signatures of the speech signal, the signature of the mantra, the visual signature, or it's called the yantra of Tantra, the visual signature of the mantra, did they tell us something about future events as well? Was something going to happen in Indonesia a week later? Well, we all discovered that it did. We talked about water. This is a luminous form. It's not breath condensation, so it's fire. In yoga, this would be ectoplasm, or in physics, it would be plasma. It's manifesting visually for the camera. The shutter speed is 1/60th of a second. Is it possible for me to construct in that amount of time such a detailed, iconic image in only 1/60th of a second? I mean, the great painters took a lot longer than 1/60th of a second to generate their artworks. Even the artworks of Tantra, the yantras that are created by the gurus, 60th of a second is pretty fast. So are there inherent signatures, mirrored signatures, and encoded symbols and language, visual language in the voice? These are mantra-generated images. I'm simply mirroring the images to reveal the archetypes and the icons, just like I'm mirroring the speech signal. So we saw that the seven garland, the seven discs, the controller of the seven discs, Vishnu, the controller. These are the seven discs. This is the understanding that the different chakras of the body are related to the vrittis, or the feelings, and so our emotions are tied into these centers. Why is everything pointing in this direction, to the seven discs? Because inside of us, these principles are occurring, and those feelings are emitting sounds. You know, the yogis heard the Sanskrit alphabet by listening in their meditations to these different locations in their body. And they heard the operations of these feelings, and they described them as emotions. So different levels of desire occur at different levels in the chakra system. So people, for example, feel that the desire for spirituality is felt in the Muladhara or root chakra. Feelings like distrust are felt in the Svadhisthana, the second chakra. And this is a roadmap. And it's relevant to the clinical work that I do, because people say that the sounds that they hear, they can pinpoint them back to locations in their body, and consistently those locations are aligned with the chakra representation. This is the model, this is the roadmap. My wellness model is based on what's already being described in yoga. Fear, the emotion fear at the Manipura, the third chakra, the heart chakra, pride, worry, anxiety, vanity, all those feelings at that location. 50 vrittis, 50 letters in the Sanskrit alphabet, all charted out. This is really old knowledge, it's not new knowledge, but it's related to the speech studies, because again, in the clinical work, I ask my clients, I say, you know, did you feel something when you heard that sound, that message? And they said, yes, I did feel something. I said, where in your body did you feel that feeling? And they say, I felt it here in my heart center, I felt it here in my solar plexus. I felt it here, just below my navel. I felt something in the center of my head. It's apparent to me that those sounds, those mirrored sounds that reveal reflections of the iconic archetypes that draw us into this ancient understanding of subtle physiology, those sounds are tied together. And so, with my background in yoga, my musical studies, my research in journalism, forensics, and using this as a model for therapy, I've been very successful in many fields in extraordinary ways. And I've been extraordinarily fortunate to be able to perform this work and to share it with you. I will be here until Monday afternoon. I provide clinical work by telephone, if anyone is interested in finding out. My website is yourinnervoice.com. And if that's about time, I want to just say thank you again, and we'll wrap that up.